everyone, how are you all today? It's great to see you. Now I'm coming at you again with my bare naked face. I'm so sorry, don't be alarmed, it will get better because today I have for you a full face of Nars products which I'm going to film, because Nars, it is one of my favourite brands. It's probably between Nars and Estee Lauder. Oh, and Lancome as well, I like Lancome. But of the higher end brands, Nars is definitely up there. It's in my top three. And I was thinking about video ideas and what I could film, and I quite liked doing the full face of Charlotte Tilbury that I did a couple of weeks ago. And I thought, what else do I have? What other products do I have from a brand where I have most things in every category so that I could do a full face for you? And when I was just looking through all my products, I thought I've actually got quite a lot of Nars things here from each of the different makeup categories. Now, I don't have every single thing. So, for example, I don't have a Nars mascara or an eyebrow pencil, but I'm sure we can cope with that. I'll be using alternatives where those things are concerned. But for the most part, I do have something from every category from Nars. So I thought I would do this video for you and just show you what products I do have and how I use them. And as I'm going through, I'll give you my thoughts on each of them as well. So let's get started. I'm going to put in my trusty headband, keep the hair out the way. Okay, let's get into it then. So for base products, I really love Nars base products. I think they do some fantastic foundations and concealers. I think Nars and Estee Lauder, in my opinion, do the best base products. If you had to just choose one brand for your base products, I would definitely go with either Nars or Estee Lauder of the higher end brands. If you want more affordable products, I'd go with Elf or Revlon. But for today, we're going to look at Nars, and I have two foundations from them. The first one I have is the Light Reflecting Foundation. This gives a lovely medium coverage. It's medium buildable coverage, and it gives you quite a glowy finish. It's beautiful. It's very smoothing on the skin, and I use this in the shade Deauville. So there's that one. And I also have their tinted moisturizer. Now I bought this because Sally Hughes had been raving about it. And I do like her. If she recommends something, I think, yeah, I'm probably going to like it myself. So I bought this. I got it in the shade Groenland. There it is. It's Light 3 Groenland. And it's lovely. If you don't want to wear much makeup, if you don't want that heavy base feeling on your face, if you just want a moisturizer with a good amount of coverage, this does give you that. I think it has a better coverage than a lot of the CC creams actually, and it's got a good amount of SPF in it as well. It actually gives an SPF of 30. Which is nice to have that extra top up, isn't it? Especially if you are going outside a lot. So that's a really good one. But for today, I'm going to use this one, my Light Reflecting, just because I want a little bit more of a long-lasting coverage. So I'm going to go in with this. So I'm going to give it a little shake. I always do this because it's a thinner texture foundation, so I think it helps just give them a little shake before you start. And I'm going to put a couple of pumps of it on my hand like that and go in with my fingers as God intended and just do a few little dots all over my face and just blend it in with my fingers. Now, if you've seen some of my earlier videos, you'll know that I do use my fingers a lot to blend in foundation. I just prefer it. I think I get a smoother coverage. And I think if you're using certain brushes and definitely sponges, you can get a lot of wasted product as well, because a lot of the product in a sponge, the sponge soaks it up inside, doesn't it? And with some brushes as well, the product, it gets all inside the bristles, doesn't it? And to me, I just feel like that's a waste of the product. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but you know, sometimes you just get a feeling, don't you? And you think, don't really want to do that. I want all of the product that I'm paying for on my face, not going down the sink. I mean, I know it all does go down the sink at the end of the day, doesn't it, when we wash it off? But I don't know, I want to get some usage out of it between it being in the bottle and down the sink, you know? Okay, right, so that is my foundation on, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It's so smoothing. It evens out my redness. It covers any imperfections that I might have. Just getting a tissue to wipe the excess off my hand there. I really, really like it. Have you used this one? Do you like the Nars foundations? Let me know in the comments, because I think that's really nice. Nars as a brand, they're also known for their concealers, aren't they? And back in the olden days, we were all using this, weren't we? The Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. And the other one that is very popular from Nars is the little pot. This is the Soft Matte Complete Concealer. And I have both of these in the same shade, and that shade is Crème Brûlée. So it's kind of a level 2. I'm sort of light to medium in skin tone, or at least I was when I bought these. And I'm neutral, leaning cool. So the shade Crème Brûlée really suited me in these products. Now, this was my favourite concealer at one point. Is it still my favourite concealer? No, but I still do believe that it's a really good one. If you have younger skin than me, if you're in your 20s or 30s, maybe your early 30s, I think this is a really good one. It does give a good amount of coverage. It's not too flat and matte either. I just feel though that as I'm getting older, I'm 47 now, I just need to use the tiniest bit of that, because around my eyes it can sink into the fine lines a little bit. Now I deal with this by using a good eye cream. At the moment I'm using the Bobbi Brown, what's it called? The face base, the eye cream version of the face base. I'm using that underneath this, and that works. I can get away with it, but I wouldn't use a lot, you know, a big thick layer of that anymore. I did when I was younger and I could get away with it. Now I'm going to use this brush to blend in my concealer. It's the MAC 270S, and it's just got a really nice flat but rounded, slightly angled tip on it there, and they're soft but they're densely packed bristles. So I've just been enjoying using this just to blend in under my eye there, just in that very inner corner. I'm not going to take it all across here because that's where my fine lines and wrinkles are, so I don't want it all across there. And again, the same on this side, just tap it in gently with this brush, just where I need it there in that inner corner. And I put a little bit of concealer here now as well these days, just to lighten up that area. I think as we get older, everything comes down, doesn't it, through gravity. And so when our cheeks drop, they're called nasolabial folds, these lines here, they can appear more prominent because our cheeks and everything are coming forward. So if you just put a bit of lightness, a bit of brightness in here and blend it in, it just gives the illusion of it being a bit more sort of higher up and not as droopy. That's how I feel about it anyway, so that's what I'm doing. Now, this concealer, the Soft Matte Complete Concealer, I would use if I had any spots or blemishes or anything like that on my face. It's a really good one for that. And the colour match is really good for me as well. But for today, I'm actually going to use this as an eyeshadow base. And I just go in with my finger to do this and just put it all over my eyelid like this. And I know some people will be horrified. I know that the makeup artists out there would be absolutely horrified if they could see me do this, because they really don't like using concealers as eyeshadow bases, do they? And I understand why. If you have particularly oily lids, the eyeshadow primers like the Urban Decay one, there's quite a few, aren't there, eyeshadow primers, they actually have some ingredients in them that helps to control the oil and stop the oil from coming through, so that's why an actual makeup artist would never use concealer as an eyeshadow base. They'd use a proper eyeshadow base. But for me, I do find that this works. Do I have oily lids? Sometimes in the summer I can have oily lids, but for most of the time they're not that bad. And if I set it with powder, as I'm going to do next, it actually works really well. And the powder that I use the most from Nars is this one, this very, very thin compact, this thin round compact. And I have combination to oily skin. It's very important that I tell you that. So I do get quite oily through the day down the T-zone. And this one, what's it called? It's the Soft Matte Advanced Perfecting Powder. And as mattifying powders go, I find this one is the most flattering. And as you can see, it's very well loved. I use this a lot. And I just go in with a brush, this sort of brush like this, nothing too big. And I just take a bit on my brush, tap off the excess, and I'll go in on my forehead first. Take a bit more, and I'll go down my nose and just through the center panel of my face, because that's where I can get oily. And then I'll take a little bit more and I'll go over my eyelids just to set that concealer that I put on. And I find that for me, that is enough of a base, and my eyeshadows will last through the day on top of this base. But this powder, if you do have oily skin, I highly, highly recommend this. It comes in a translucent and it comes in coloured versions as well. And I have this in the shade Cove, and I find it's just right for my skin tone. So highly recommend that one. When it first came out, I can't remember now if it was last year or the year before, everyone was talking about it on YouTube, and I thought, oh wow, that looks really good, and that was what made me go out and buy it. And since then, everyone's shut up about it. Why does that happen? Everybody raves, don't they, on YouTube about a certain product, and then after a while you never hear them saying anything about it, and you think, are you still using that? Because you were loving it at the time. Anyway, I am still loving it, and I am still using it, and it has become one of my favourite setting powders on those days when I want a more mattifying finish, if I want my makeup to be a bit longer lasting. Okay, so that's my base and my concealer and my powder on. So the next thing I would do is go in with a bronzer. And Nars Bronzers, oh my goodness, they've got some of the best sorts. Certainly 10, 15 years ago, I think we were all using this, weren't we? And it is the Nars Bronzer in Laguna. And this is the Laguna 02 Original. And it looks like this. Now, I've been through, I'd say about 5 or 6 of these Laguna bronzers over the years. Absolutely love it. It's, oh, the postman's here. Bear with. Oh, very sorry about that rude interruption. The postman came, rang the doorbell. How rude. And as you know, I don't edit my videos. This is just me filming generally in one take. This is the first time I haven't filmed in just one take, because I had to pause there. But, you know, my videos are the closest you're going to get to live entertainment on YouTube, because I just don't have the skills or the knowledge to do fancy edits. So there you are. Anyway, I was talking about the Nars Laguna bronzer, wasn't I, and how much I love it. Well, I'm going to go in with a bit of this now, just to sculpt my face a little bit and add some warmth. And I'm going to use my Hourglass Snake brush, which I bought 2 Christmases ago, to do that. So I'm just going to take some of it on this lovely big domed head brush, tapping off the excess, and into that hollow of my cheek a bit more. Just like that. And same again on the other side. I really like my postman. He's very nice. He always wants to stop and have a chat. So that's why I thought I'd better pause the video, because I knew that I'd be there for about 10 minutes. Anyway, there we go. I think he's brought me something exciting anyway, so I can't be too mad about it. I'll probably be showing it you in a future video, so watch this space. All right, there we are. That's my bronzer on. Now, after bronzer, I will go in with my blush. Now, Nars powder blushes have always had a really good reputation, haven't they? A few years ago, I think they were known as being some of the best blushes that you could buy, particularly the powder blushes, these ones here. And last year, they actually updated their formula and their packaging. So they come in these little square containers now, and they have a little hole there so that when you've used it up, you can get a pin and pop it out and change it so they're refillable as well. And I have this one in the shade Orgasm Edge. It's called Orgasm Edge. And it's the matte version of their old Orgasm blush. So if you're familiar with that one, it's got the, it's like a peachy pinky with some gold shimmer running through it. This is that lovely peachy pinky shade, but it doesn't have the gold shimmer. So if, like me, you are at the age now where you have a bit of texture on your cheeks and you don't want to use shimmer, this is a lovely, lovely option. So I'm going to go in with my angled blush brush. Bit of that on there, tap off, and just go on my cheekbone area. Up there, bit more. Such a gorgeous shade this, isn't it? This peachy pink. Really, really nice for spring and summer. And hasn't the weather been glorious lately in the UK? Oh my word, it's been sunny. All the blossom trees are out, the flowers are out. It's been gorgeous. And did you hear about Green King pubs this week? We have a chain of pubs here in the UK called Green King, and they've said that if it rains on any day, if you go into one of their pubs, they will give you a free pint. So they're that confident in the weather forecast that it's not going to rain. They've been offering people free pints if it does rain. Have you heard about that? Have you taken advantage of that? Has it rained where you are? So, yeah, they didn't say free pints of what, though. If I go in and ask for a free pint of gin, I'm not sure how that would go down. Anyway, next, I'm going to go over that powdered brush with one of their liquid blushes. And this one is also in the shade Orgasm. And again, it's lovely. It's that same light peachy pink. But if I just do a little dot and a little dot, and I'm going to go over it with that same blush brush, it just brings some life to my face. So you remember how I said that the original Orgasm had that shimmer running through it? Well, this gives you the light and that sort of highlighty effect, but without any shimmery particles or anything at all. So I just think as you do get a bit older and your cheeks get a bit more textured, this is a much more flattering way of adding highlight to your face. And oh, I love that. Absolutely love that colour. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, talking about drinking pints of gin. I can't drink as much anymore as I used to. And even a normal, not a pint of gin, even just a normal sized glass of gin and tonic, I used to love it. But I just can't anymore. Do you find that as well? I mean, I'm in my late 40s, and the most I do now is like a white wine spritzer or something with a lot of lemonade or tonic water. But it's just the hangovers. What happens when you get into your 40s? I don't know, but I don't like it. Anyway, eyebrows. Now, as I said at the beginning, I don't have a Nars eyebrow pencil. So I'm going to use my current favourite, which is the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and I use this in the shade Taupe. So it's lovely. It's got a really nice fine pointy nib there. And I'll just go over my microblading, which I had done last year, and I've been really pleased with it. It's so nice not to have to worry about filling in my eyebrows every day if I don't want to, because I literally had no eyebrow hair at all. Just the tiniest little bit there, but it's so fair you couldn't see it anyway, but I had nothing down here. So it's so nice now on those days where I just don't want to wear any makeup, because I did always used to fill them in. I just felt that my face didn't look right without any brows on. So I would always go through and fill them in, which is a pain, frankly, isn't it? If you're having to do that every day. So I'm going to go over it with the spoolie end of this as well, just to get rid of any harsh lines from that. There we go. Just blend those nicely. I just think that makes a difference, doesn't it? It just gives a bit more structure to your face. Okay, now for eyeshadow. I do really love Nars eyeshadows. Something about their formula. They're just really soft and creamy, and they blend beautifully. And I actually have two eyeshadow palettes from Nars. I've got this one. They both look the same. In fact, a lot of these products all look like this from the outside, so you do have to read the back. So this one is a quad, and it's in the shade Mojave, and it's absolutely gorgeous. If you just want a fairly neutral, natural eye, that's beautiful. And I have another one which looks exactly the same from the outside. And this is actually a 6-pan, and it's in the shade Suede. And for today, I'm going to use this one because I really like this matte here. I love to use this one as a liner, and any one of these shimmers, or even this shimmer, I think is nice in the inner corner. So I'm going to use this one today, and I'm going to go in with my good old MAC 217 brush with the short handle. And I'm going to start with that lovely matte colour there. And I'm just going to go through the crease. I don't need a bit more. Through the crease and down into the outer corner, just to give a little bit of definition and just sculpt the eyeball a little bit. There we go. And same again on the other side, in with that shade there. Yeah, there we go. And talking about drinking as well, I find if I do have a drink, it really affects my night's sleep now. Do you find that? Never used to at all. I used to be able to drink wine and gin and whatever I wanted really, and I'd still sleep like a log. And wouldn't have very much of a hangover the next day, but yeah, just can't do it now. And it's not good for you, is it? It's not great for your skin. I mean, when you get to my age, you start thinking about doing everything you can to try and maintain all of this, don't you? I'm using my SPF every day. I'm trying to drink as much water as I can. So I think, why would I want to drink alcohol when I know that it's gonna, you know, mess all of this up for the future? So I've kind of gone off it. I'll occasionally have a glass of something, like if I'm celebrating or if I'm at a wedding or, you know, having a toast or something like that. Of course I'll have something. And on my recent holiday I did have a couple of espresso martinis and pina coladas. Actually, they're very nice, but that's holiday time, isn't it? This is what I mean. On special occasions I'll have something, but just normal day to day I don't think I'm gonna. Anyway, I'm gonna go in with this darker shade now on my MAC pencil brush and just run it along my lash line at the top there. So let's take some of this on the brush and just very gently outer corner and along the lash line. And that just gives a nice amount of depth there to the eyeball. And same again on the other side. Yeah, wow, they're so easy to blend, these shadows. Have you used any Nars eyeshadows? I know they're Christmas time palettes that they come out with are very popular, aren't they? And I'm just going to take whatever shadow is left on that and just run it underneath in the outside corner there. And same again on this side. So when I was younger, I used to use pencil eyeliners underneath, you know, on the waterline and everything, and that's just not a flattering look on me anymore, in my opinion, as I'm getting older. But I prefer a softer, more diffused line, which I get from a powder and a brush like this. So there we are, that's those shadows on. And now I'm going to use this shimmery shade here just on my finger, and I'm just going to put it on the lid and into the inner corner, just to give a bit of light and brightness to my eyes. There we go. See the difference there? It's a really, really lovely shade, this. Same again over here. No fallout. Not getting any fallout at all from these shadows. Yeah, that's lovely, isn't it? And Nars have a beautiful palette out for spring this year in sort of mauvey lilac-y tones, and there's a beautiful shimmery grey in that palette. It's one of their 9-pan palettes, and I've actually got my eye on that. I've been thinking about purchasing that. But just for today's video, I wanted to show you my tried and true products that I've had for a long time, and just show you, you know, what I like, what my favourites are, and how I like to use them. So there we are. I think I'm going to leave it there for eyeshadow. I think just for a daytime look, that's really nice. Now, what do we have next? I don't have any eyeliners by Nars, so that's fine. I'm just not going to use one. I think this look on its own with mascara will be enough for the eyes. So I'm going to go in with my old faithful Shuamura eyelash curlers now. And I'm just going to give it a little pump on this side. And then I'm going to use my current favourite mascara. If you've seen me before, you'll have seen this, the YSL Lash Clash in Waterproof. And I'm just going to go in with this. Gives me just the right amount of volume and length. And because it's waterproof, it doesn't smudge or flake or anything like that on me. I absolutely love it. And it's really black as well. It's like really dark black. And it lasts for ages. Honestly, I know you're supposed to replace your mascaras after every 3 months, aren't you? Well, I only use them on myself, so I tend to keep mine, if I can, for around 5-6 months. Some of them you can't because they just dry out, don't they, and they stop working. But this one, I do get a good 6 months out of this. So there you are. I think it's well worth the price. I mean, you can get some really good drugstore mascaras, especially the Maybelline ones are very good. I've used the, oh, what's that one in the blue tube? I don't think they do it anymore. The Rocket Volume Express, I used to love that. But for the ones that they still do, I like the one in the pink tube from Maybelline. The Lash Sensational, that's really good. Again, I do use the waterproof though, because I'm a smudger. But yeah, I'm really happy with that eye look for today. What do you think? So for lips then, we're nearly finished. I'm going to use 2 Nars lip products. I'm going to use one of these. What's it called? I think it's a Power Matte High Intensity Lip Pencil. And this is in the shade Dolce Vita. And then once I've put this on, I'm going to go over it with one of these. These are the coloured lip balms that Nars do. What's it called? I can't read it, but anyway, it's one of their coloured lip balms and it's in the shade Dolce Vita as well. They're both in the shade Dolce Vita. So these pencils are fantastic. They're so soft and creamy. And all I'm going to do with this is just line the outer rim. You see how quickly and easily that went on? You hardly have to touch. You hardly have to put any pressure on your lip at all. There you go. And then on the bottom. And then just do that and you've got a lovely line, and just the action of doing that has actually filled in a bit of my my actual lip area as well. And then I'm going to take the lip balm in the Dolce Vita, show you it on my hand, beautiful shade, and I'm just going to go over that. Lovely. So that's my full face of Nars, and I would say that these are my favourite products from Nars. I've been using them for the last 10-15 years probably, and they always work. They never let me down. If I just want a good reliable face of makeup, then these are some really good products that I know I can rely on. So yeah, tell me what you think. What do you think of Nars? It's been around since 1994, so that makes it one of the older brands now, doesn't it? Yeah, anyway, do tell me what you think, and I will leave it there for today. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope you're going to have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday with a Clarins video. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.